Hello, my grots and gets. Welcome back to Happy Crump and Wargaming. I am just really excited. Normally, I don't do news blots, but we have really cool news that have just been released by Games Workshop. There has been a very mysterious new faction that's been coming to the setting of Warhammer 40,000 in 10th edition, and it is now revealed that it is an actual Imperial Agents Codex. I adore this. I think it's freaking awesome, and I cannot wait to get into it. So effectively, they have just gone ahead and released it. This is the 22nd of July, the 22nd of July in 2024. And now we know for a fact that the Imperial Agents are coming. There's a little release trailer. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I do want to show just a few seconds of it because I want you to see some of the new models that are coming out. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty of what this kind of means for the whole setting and how we're going to be implementing this into a bunch of other armies or taking it as a standalone. And I'm pretty pumped up. So let's check this little trailer out here. It is just quite cool. So we had Collectus Assassin, we got a Chimera there, we got some Grey Knights. Ooh, a Navigator. Draxus, yes. Void's Men-at-Arms, the Road Trader Entourage, the Corvus Blackstar, Deathwatch Veterans, the Priest, Grey Fax. Now let's just pause that for a second. So I wonder, so this is kind of cool. So after it says we're going to talk about the Ordo Hereticus, we go through the trailer, and it starts showing us Inquisitor Greyfax. So our Inquisitor is going to be locked per specific Ordo. That's actually a really interesting thought. So I wonder if that's going to happen. I don't know, actually, but and we'll go through some of the details of what they've written here in just a moment. But I think it's a kind of a cool thought if they're going to be locking certain Inquisitors to certain Ordos. Although I find that would be probably strange, because as we're going to find out when we read in just a moment, your Inquisitors are still able to be taken in other armies. But let's see. Immolator. Ooh, Sisters of Battle Immolators. And I love the design of the Codex. I think it looks sick. Good old Inquisitor Cotiez. He gets a new model. So all right. So that's the release trailer. So there's a bunch of new models that are going to be out for it. And I think it's quite cool. So this is going to be the actual picture for the book, and I think the picture is freaking awesome. I think that might be my favorite Codex cover that I've seen so far. I think it beats the crap out of what the Orcs got. I think that's just sick cover. But into gameplay, because we are a gameplay channel. So they go on to read to us. This means that Codex Imperial Agents can be used in two distinct ways: to add specialist inquisitorial aid to your army, or to build a dedicated inquisitorial force of your own. Those familiar with the current rules will recognize the assigned agents army rule. So effectively, what they're going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to take any of these units and you're going to be able to slot them into your own Imperial army, which is quite awesome. Because what this is going to mean is that you're going to be able to shore up a lot of the weaknesses that you have. So let's say that you want some really hard-shooting, hard-hitting Deathwatch veterans in your army. Well, you're going to be able to slot those in to whatever army you are. So what if you are just really squishy, Sisters of Battle army, and you want some more durable frontline troops? Now you can bring in Grey Knights, or you can bring in Deathwatch veterans to really plug that hole in your army. If you are going to be running your Imperial Guard, for example, slotting in Space Marine bodies can be freaking awesome. I think this is sick, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to go. So we get the Ordos, Xenos, Malleus, and Hereticus. These are going to be 3 of the detachments, and there's going to be a 4th detachment as well, actually, which is quite cool. So the new codex will feature Watchmasters, the Corvus Blackstars, and Watch Captain Artemis, who was a special character for the Death Watch. And he's been gone for a while, so they've got his model is, I don't know if his model is getting a refresh or if they're just going to start printing his model again. So we're going to be able to bring full Deathwatch contingents in any Imperial army, including leaders, squads, and transports, which I freaking love. And you're also going to be able to still create your own Deathwatch Space Marines army, because you're going to be able to slot in all of your special units into any traditional Space Marine army. So you're still going to be able to have a Deathwatch army, which I freaking think is great, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I played Deathwatch for quite a while because I love Deathwatch, and I think they are awesome. They're the books that I enjoy. When I read the Deathwatch Omnibus, I thought that was like a freaking rock star series. I thought it was absolutely sick. So I'm kind of addicted to the Deathwatch, so this is right up my alley, and I'm really pumped for it. The Grey Knight Terminators and Battle Sisters just showing up, and you can pop those into any of your Imperial armies, could provide some really interesting things. I know, for example, when I'm running, I don't know if this is exactly how it's going to work, but if I'm running a Blood Angels army, I'm certainly not going to be taking a squad of Intercessors, but I might take a squad of 10 Battle Sisters who are all at that OC2 for less points. So that might be something that I would do. So there's really good, interesting things to like mix and match your armies to make your armies really flexible, which I think this codex is going to be really cool. So anyway, the assigned agents. So this is how you're going to be able to slot your units into any Imperial army. So if we're playing Strike Force, which is the 2,000 points, which we typically play, you can include up to 2 retinue units, 2 character units, and 1 requisition units. And they've already given us kind of a little sneak preview of what the difference between a retinue, a character, and a requisition unit is. So they said our Deathwatch kill teams, for example, are going to be retinue units. So in a normal 2,000 point army, you can include 2 units of the Deathwatch kill teams, 2 characters, whether that's your Watchmaster or it's going to be an Inquisitor, and then 1 requisition unit. And they've already given us examples of those as well. So Terminator, Grey Knight Terminators and Battle Sister squads count as requisition. So you'll be able to mix and match quite a bit. It's not like you take kill teams or you take Battle Sisters. So I think it's actually a really interesting way that they're doing it. And then you can also include agents of the Imperium dedicated transports as normal. So this is actually also pretty darn cool. So if I want to take, say, a Rhino for my Battle Sisters, well, suddenly I don't have to use like 2 of my slots. So the Rhino is just going to be in addition, which is really damn sick. So here we're going to talk about some of the detachments. So it says to us, it's going to say, should you instead wish to field an entire army of Imperial agents, the Codex will offer 4 new detachments, and they're going to have their own detachment rules, their own stratagems, enhancements, the entire gambit. 3 of the detachments are going to be the actual Inquisitor or Ordos, which is actually really, really cool, whether it's the Ordos Malleus, Xenos, or Hereticus. And then the 4th is going to be the Imperial Navy. That's actually pretty cool. So it's, and this is the one that they're giving us a little bit of information about. So this is the Imperialis fleet. Fleet, not feet. Imperialis fleet. That would be gross. Anyway, Imperialis fleet detachment. They're going to call upon a wide variety of support options to redeploy, avoid harm, and fight in close orders. They say it's a great way to experience the entire spectrum of an Imperial Agent's army, as it has relatively few restrictions on who can be targeted by its stratagems. So this makes me think that some of these stratagems are going to be like severely keyword locked in this codex. I don't know. I don't have any other information than you do at this point. But the way they worded that makes me think that it's probably going to be keyword locked, except for in this detachment. And then this one's going to be much more broad, which is pretty darn cool. Now, I do like the idea of running assassins next to your rogue traders and inquisitors. This is actually a very, very interesting idea. And they do tell us what the detachment rule is for the Imperialist fleet. At the start of your command phase, you can select one of the following to apply. So it gives you options, and I love options. So this excites me. 1, you get to select 1 enemy unit on the battlefield. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an Agents of the Imperium model from your army makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, you get to add 1 to the hit roll. So it's kind of like crappy Oath of the Moment. It does apply to everything, which is cool. So that on its by itself is not exciting at all. But the fact that you get to choose that or something else, the other one, which is called Acquire All Cost. Select 1 objective marker on the battlefield, and until the start of your next command phase, while an Agents of the Imperium unit from your army is within range of said objective marker, you get to improve the leadership and the OC of models in that unit by 1, and models in that unit have a 5-up invulnerable save. Now, this is very, very strong. Let me explain one of the things that I'm seeing right off the bat that I think a bunch of people are going to miss. It says you get to improve the leadership and OC of models in that unit by 1. When you get Battle Shocked, my friends, Battle Shocked sets your leadership or it sets your OC down to 0. But this is a modifier. So this would count as a +1 modifier to your OC, which means that you would still have OC even if you were Battle Shocked, which is very powerful. On top of that, you get bonuses to your leadership and your invulnerable save. This actually kind of rocks, in my opinion. So, assuming that you stand on that objective, of course. So, getting just an on-demand 5-up invulnerable save on any unit that happens to be on an objective can be extremely powerful at times. So, I think the ability that the first one, eliminate at all costs, just doesn't seem that exciting. Although having +1 to hit on demand is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a crappy version of Oath of the Moment. But being able to switch in between these two actually seems very, very cool, and I'm excited to see what else is in the book. So they give us a little preview on what Inquisitors are going to look like. Inquisitors themselves are versatile leaders who can support a wide range of unit types and their blessed wardings can now grant a 6-up invulnerable save to the unit, in addition to command point regenerating power of the rosettes. So basically just says the abilities of the Inquisitor is going to be, while the unit is bearer is leading a unit, they get 6-up invulnerable saves, and each time you target that model's unit with a stratagem, on a d6, on a 3-up, you gain 1 CV. Now that, in a void of no other information, does not sound exciting to me at all, but we do not know what these stratagems are, and we don't know what all of the units are going to be able to do. So, they have a few other things. They want to show us a brand new model for Inquisitor Cotiez. Now, I love the fact that he's getting a new model, and I hate what the new model looks like. So, this is not my idea of a great model. I got to be honest with you. Look at the length of his leg compared to like his hip is like the bottom half of his body is 3/4 of the length of his entire body. Compared to his old model, which was actually pretty sweet. Let me just see if I can kind of just find it real quick. Inquisitor Cotiez. Here, I didn't prepare this. I probably should have, but you know, it is what it is. So this is what he used to look like. And I think that is pretty sick, actually. I like this model a lot. And let's just compare and contrast that to the new model, which I think looks a little herpy-derpy. But whatever. You know, it's fine. He gets a new model. That's cool. Then alongside him, they have announced 3 Battleforce boxes, which is going to get you kickstarted into an Imperial Agents army. And honestly, I might be picking some of these up because they look pretty darn exciting to me. So the first one here we have is the Ordo Xenos. And when we're going through it, it looks to us like we've got some Imperial Navy breachers. We've got a rogue trader retinue, which I love. We have some Inquisitorial Agents and Curia Draxis. Inquisitorial Agents and Curia Draxis is cool. And then we've got a full kill team with a Corvus Blackstar. That's awesome because kill teams rock. And I'm really excited to see what they do with the Corvus Blackstar because as is, I just find it a little too underwhelming. So I'm pumped up to see what they do with the Corvus. Then we have 2 other battle forces that they've shown us. So this one is going to be the Ordo Malleus. Here we've got an Inquisitorial Agents retinue. I like it. Very, very cool. We've got a Calexis Assassin in the background there. I see a unit of Grey Knight Terminators, which... Grey Knight Terminators. Another unit of Inquisitorial Agents. Is that a Chimera in the background? And the new Cotiez. This seems like a much less exciting book, or a much less exciting box. However, if you need Inquisitorial Agents, this might be the best way to get it. And then lastly, the last box that they're showing us is going to be the Ordo Hereticus. This is giving us an Immolator with a Battle Sister Squad. It's going to give us Inquisitorial Greyfax. We get Agents, we get the Munitorium Priest, and it looks like a big squad of Adeptus Arbites, which we don't know how they are going to present in the Codex, so this could also be a decent way to get us started. These boxes are going to be great if you don't already play one of these armies, but if you do already play one of these armies, of course, that's going to decrease the value of them, so you're probably not going to need them. But for people who are going to be straight up new to Imperial factions, I think these boxes can be freaking awesome if you're interested in picking this army up. Now, they do have one last little treat for us. They say, don't worry, Grey Knights players. This is only the first chance you're going to have to send your Terminators off on a demon hunting crusade. There will be a dedicated Grey Knights Codex. So everyone can relax, breathe, because you are going to get a Grey Knights Codex. But it's going to be on the way next year. They said there's going to be plenty of times. There's still going to be a decent amount of time until the Grey Knights Codex is released. So this is just going to get them on the battlefield where you're going to be able to bring them. I think it's cool, man. I actually think this is a really, really rockstar announcement. And I'm pretty pumped up for myself, which makes me think that some of you guys might be pumped up there. If you guys have any comments or questions about this, please post it down. I really want to hear your opinion on what you think about these boxes. And honestly, the herpy-derpy version of Inquisitor Cotiez, I think this model sucks. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. And we can just have a fight in the chat or on the Discord itself. Other than that, man, great job, GW. This is a cool surprise. I think this is just awesome. And holy crap, this is just gorgeous artwork. I think this book's artwork, I might buy the book just for the artwork because that's just badass. Anyway, I'm going to take off, and I'm going to be back to my regular posting schedule this week. Last week, I had some things I had to handle, so I couldn't really get the posting in like I typically wanted to. So, apologies if you didn't see me last week. So we'll be getting some new orc content this week. I'm really excited to put it out for you, and I honestly, guys, I'm just pumped up about this announcement. So I'm all jazzed. I might have to go play a game right now with some Death Watch. We'll see. Until next time. Everybody enjoy a crumpin' Monday, and we'll catch you probably tomorrow with my with our next release. Later,